And I'm getting ready to blow your mind and give you names. This is important. I want to tell you guys something right now. We can make changes. We can allow the government to do what they want to do, and we can allow Jessica to win, and we can allow James King to win, and we can allow J.D. Prescott to win and jam 1338 down our throats and do what they want. Or we can stand up, we can tighten our bootlaces, and we can say, all right, I got the guts, I got the balls, I can do this. Let's do it. And we can make a change, but we've got to be able to say, we're going to bust ass. It's going to require us, not them. We got to say, we want you, we don't want you, and then get out and do it. No more beating around the bush with this nonsense.
The other item that was not considered by the Tax Abatement Committee, but has a direct bearing on this whole discussion, is the Economic Development Agreement that was signed by Delaware County and Meadow Forge Solar Energy prior to the time that the moratorium went into effect. Hawthorne did not get to this step. They did not sign a EDA, is my understanding. In looking at the Economic Development Agreement, there is I'll call it curious provision. It's paragraph 11, and it says that so long as the owner of this project is complying with the statement of benefits that they have to file as part of the tax abatement process, and they file for their deduction from their assessed value under the tax abatement, if that is subsequently disallowed, rescinded, canceled, or modified by the council, then the owner can first terminate their obligations under this agreement, and that they would also receive they would be entitled to an equal credit against future taxes equal to the amount they would have received under the tax abatement. So if we were to repeal the tax abatement, and in the case of Meadow Forge, I think the calculation was that they would receive a benefit of about $5 million toward their property taxes. According to this paragraph, they would then get a credit of $5 million against their future taxes. It's sort of a heads they win, tails we lose.
Heads they win, tails we lose. This is Councilman Hughes saying this. It's not Christopher Bilbrey. It's not Ryan Webb. Okay? It's Bill Hughes.
Proposition from my point of view. And it raised three questions in my mind. First of all, it seemed to me that they're conceding that we have the authority to rescind their tax abatement.
That's exactly what I've been saying since day one of hearing about this. With this thing that they came up with, they are conceding that the council does have the authority to rescind it because they put it in the agreement.
It specifically says, if we do it, this is what happens. They didn't say you can't do it. That's kind of contrary to the position they've taken, or the council has taken. Secondly, if this were invoked, it would be a horrible resort for the county.
If this were invoked, okay, if this happened, this would be horrible for the county. James King, why did you agree to this? Shannon Henry, why did you agree to this? Sherry Riggin, why did you agree to this?
If this were invoked, it would be a horrible resort for the county because of that maximum levy proposition again. They would have to pay their taxes. Everybody's tax rate would be reduced. We'd be at our maximum levy, but then they'd get this credit. So that would take the county, for instance, and other taxing units well below their maximum levy. So it would be a substantial cost to the county.
Why did our commissioners stick us with this? Why did John Brook, their attorney, tell them that this was okay? Why did James King sign his name with his grubby little hands on the document? Why did Shannon Henry agree to this? Why did Sherry Riggin agree to this? What were you guys thinking? What's the game plan? What's going on? What's going on behind the scenes? What were you guys promised? What's going on here? You guys can't be this stupid. So either you guys are this stupid and you need to resign tomorrow morning, all three of you, stupid, or something else is going on here. And if it's not one of those two things, then explain to us what is happening, because this sounds completely insane.
The third thing that
Oh, there's a third thing. The third thing
occurs to me here is that this agreement was signed by the company and the county commissioners.
It was signed by the company and the county commissioners. And for all those playing at home, I want to remind you that the county commissioners are the executive body. All right. Listen to what Councilman Attorney Hughes says.
And I don't know, and I haven't done research. We would leave this up to the council's attorney and Mr. Brooke, the county attorney, to look into. I don't know how the county commissioners have the authority to grant a tax credit.
If Steve Brand is smart, he'll pound King into the dirt with this, and he'll walk straight in to a victory. I forgive King of everything that he's ever done. I want King to resign because of this alone. I forgive Shannon Henry of saying, I'm tired and sick of transparency. I'm tired of hearing people bitch and moan. I'll forgive him of all of that. I'll forgive him of everything stupid they've ever done. I want Shannon Henry to resign because of this. I want Sherry Riggin to resign because I know she knows this stuff isn't right, but she doesn't speak up against these guys. It only takes those two guys to bully her over, and she doesn't have the strength apparently anymore to do what needs to be done. Those three commissioners need to resign tomorrow.
We're the fiscal body of the county. That's why tax abatements come here instead of going to the commissioner.
Folks, this isn't rocket science. It's checks and balances. You'll learn this in third grade.
The fiscal side of the county. So to me, that's a significant question.
Significant.
Do the commissioners have the authority to grant a tax credit, even a conditional tax credit, as described in this? So all of that is I would say a further complication to the whole discussion regarding tax abatements and the possibility of the council reconsidering those.
I don't even care about the solar issue right now. I want to know why we have elected officials that aren't protecting us. Now, I want you guys to notice this guy right here. Hell, it's like he's not even paying attention. Eugene Whitehead, he is up for re-election. He should really be paying attention. He should have a lot to say about this. I know Councilor Webb has a lot to say about it. Let's find out how much Jessica Piper has to say about this.
Thank you.
And to further clarify that.
Any
Bill,
thoughts,
your understanding
Jessica? Jessica's got no thoughts. I mean, look, she's not looking up. She's scared to death. She doesn't want to talk about this. She doesn't want to touch this. Hey, not just King, Riggin, and Henry. Jessica Piper, you need to resign tomorrow. You should resign, ma'am. What are you doing to fight for this? This is your council. Should you not be concerned about this? I'm telling you, all of the at-large council members, Ryan and all of any newbies that come in, Amber Green just announced tonight that she's running, obviously, for at-large. We knew that was coming. They need to be pounding this into their heads again and again and again and again. You're not living up to your obligation. You're not living up to your oath. You're not living up to your duty. What the hell's going on? Who's getting the kickbacks here? Look, and if you say, oh, that's slanderous, that's libel, okay, then tell me what's going on that's not what it is. Explain to me why this is happening. If that's not what's going on, why is Ben Freeman real quiet? He's not saying anything. He normally likes piping off at the mouth. Why ain't he saying something?
In my opinion, we have at least one, if not two, missing pieces here. We have the lack of an update from the solar companies on any.
And why is that? Why is everybody okay with that? Well, we've not heard from them about any kind of update since July of 2021. That seems to be okay.
Changes, any updates, any financial information since the abatement was applied for, correct? And then secondly, we have the outstanding question of this EDA interpretation, whether it's even valid. Commissioners have reached out about meeting with the council, which won't happen, obviously didn't happen before today.
Why? They knew they were coming in here to have this meeting. Why was there not a meeting scheduled?
So it's gonna be my suggestion, we either table or make a motion for a special hearing.
When I heard that information about the economic development agreement, once I got past my outrage and just complete frustration that commissioners would sign that, put us in this position, allowing a tax credit to go forward even if we rescinded, which is complete ridiculousness to me. But once I got past that, I shared the same concern that Mr. Hughes said. I question the validity of how they can even do that. They don't control the money, we control the money. They don't control the tax credits, we control the tax credits. I don't make adjustments and make provisions for my neighbor's house, I make them for my house. Because I don't control their house. They don't control this house. So that's my first thing. I don't believe they have any right to enter into an agreement stating that if we decide independently on our own from them, we want to go a different direction, that we then have to abide by what they've agreed to. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not a lawyer, but the common sense factor tells me that doesn't hold any water. That's the first thing. Second thing, that economic development agreement was signed in 2021. I'm going to officially apologize to everyone in this room and everyone who's watched and everyone who's attended those commissioners meetings and watched commissioners sit up there and tell every one of you that I don't know anything about any of this until all these property agreements started getting signed. Don't know nothing about it. That's obviously not true because an EDA was signed in 2021. So there was knowledge of this project going forward. So no one else will apologize to you for it, I will. And then the third thing I'm gonna say, and this is really just a reminder for everyone. And I asked Mr. Freeman
Here we go.
to state those requirements for a reason. And I'm gonna ask everyone to go back to November 2023. I sit in this very chair and I made a motion to follow those exact steps that he just outlined to consider rescinding this agreement. I'm gonna read it right here as the official minutes. Councilmember Webb made a motion to refer both tax abatements back to the Tax Abatement Committee for review. We've done that. Tax Abatement Committee met, they reviewed. Report back to council
Yeah.
to discuss those findings. We're doing that right now. Next step. Council is to hold a special hearing for the developers to update council and then consider the possibility of rescinding the tax abatement for a vote. That's where we're at now. So we're already on second base in this process, right? We did it in November. It was voted on unanimously. I might add. But what Councilmember Cantor said, to have a hearing, I'm glad you said that, because that's actually the next step in the motion that has already passed unanimously, that we are to conduct a special hearing for the vote of this rescission.
And the council right now, including Jessica Piper, probably the three commissioners sitting someplace, Ben Freeman, John Brook, if he's watching, they are all losing their ever-loving mind because boom, bang, pow, Ryan just walked them into their own undoing. He asked the attorney to outline what they needed to do to take the next step. The attorney outlined it. Then Ryan brings up the minutes from the meeting in November when Jessica was gone and Bill Hughes was the president, and he read his motion word for word in the official minutes, and it passed 6-0. It passed unanimously. And what that means is they're already in the process. They can't now stop it unless they do something to do that. But we would all know what they were doing then, and it would the jig would be up at that point. Shit would hit the fan. The citizens of Delaware County like him, love him, hate him, don't know him, don't care about him, whatever you think. Hate his thoughts, hate his comments, hate his politics, love his thoughts, love his comments, love his politics, agree with him sometime, agree with him none of the time, agree with him all the time, disagree with him all the time, whatever. The citizens of Delaware County owe Ryan a pat on the back. They owe him a beer. They owe him an attaboy. They owe him a lot for what just happened here. Ryan's been the only one that's had the guts to do what is right. And I got to give Bill credit because Bill's starting to get on board. It seems like Bill's thinking, hey, wait a minute. Ryan seems like he knows what he's talking about. This is working. Ryan did the right thing. And the reason Ryan knew to do that, it's not because he's some massive political genius. It's not because of whatever. It's because he listens. It's because he pays attention. It's because he asks questions that everybody else rolls their eyes to. It's because he's listening to the public. He's doing what the public wants. And I know that this is going to cause the stamp licker to be butthurt. But Ryan got one over on yo people, man. It is the way it is. I can't help it. Because in the end, when you're doing something for good, that is going to overcome.
I just wanted to remind the council of that, remind everyone of that, that was voted on and passed unanimously in November.
I will say too that, we'd asked Ben to reach out to John Brook, the commissioner's attorney, to get some clarification, and they have reached back and are willing to meet with us. So we'll need to discuss that. And
now listen to her. She's like, wait, I don't want to do anything today. I'm too afraid. I can't make a decision. They want to meet. They want to meet. Listen, this meeting between the council and the commissioners needs to happen in a joint work session, a special public meeting, a special meeting. No citizens get a talk. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with no citizens even talking. Let the adults work in the room if they so choose. Have all three commissioners there, have their attorney there, have the counselor there, have all the counselors there, have their attorney there, and let them do this in front of the public. Hell, do it in an open meeting and give public comment. Don't do this behind closed doors. I've got word today, that Jessica is already making the play for having this in an executive session. If Jessica has this in an executive session, she must be beat in May. We don't want this to happen in an executive session. We do not want this to happen in an executive session. This must happen out in the open because the citizens deserve to know what the hell is going on. With everything that Bill laid out, this cannot happen behind closed doors. This has to happen in front of the public. Look at her holding her neck. Look at her. Look how she's just beside herself right now. She is, I guarantee you, Oh man, she is nervous. She's not happy. Now, let me tell you what they're going to try to do here. I think Piper's next move is trying to do this behind closed doors and trying to kick this can until after the May primary. That cannot happen. This needs to happen now. I have talked about it's time to do this. It's time to do this. We've got to do this. We've got to do this. And year in and year out, some people do it. People watch. It is what it is. And that's what goes on. And that's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. Just talking. It's just words. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, to start walking the walk. Where we go from here.